Hello summoners and welcome back to Mobalytics, where today we have the top 5 quick tips for climbing ranked with Diana. In the current meta of League of Legends, Diana has been rising up. She is an up-and-coming pick that has been doing surprisingly well, and we've even seen her on our tier list. If you are curious how well you can do with Diana and stack up to the best of the best way to do this is with the Mobalytics GPI. You can track your gamer performance index on Diana and see how well you do comparative to others. Find out all of your strengths and your weaknesses and get advice for how you can improve. Sign up today at mobalytics.gg to check out your gamer performance index on Diana and all the other champions in League of Legends. For tip number 1, I would like to go over some new builds that have popped up for Diana over the last couple of patches and made her a significantly better champion. Firstly, taking a look at the obvious contender for Diana's new best item is Spellbinder. An item like this is a fantastic first item for Diana because the build path isn't too terrible for her, it's incredibly cheap after Riot did in fact buff the cost, and on top of that it gives a ton of flat AP and movement speed, which is fantastic for an assassin. The thing about Diana is she doesn't require CDR or mana the same way something like a Syndra or a Zoe or a LeBlanc does. Diana does just fine with just a Spellbinder first item. You will also see this in Diana's rune page as well. Just being able to get flat AP and really skipping out on CDR or mana is going to be the best bet for you. For the rest of your build, prioritizing damage, and more damage will be the most effective build. For tip number 2, let's go over a couple combos and mechanics for Diana. On patch 7.14, which is well over a year ago at this point, Diana did receive a couple of changes to her passive and overall kit, receiving a small rework. Instead of just gaining flat attack speed, Diana actually has attack speed attached to when she uses abilities, so she charges her attack speed kind of like the way Riven charges some damage from her passive. As always though, Diana's optimal trading pattern will be to stack up 2 auto attacks first, having your third auto ready for the cleave and damage, and then look to trade. Unless you are disgustingly fed, it's not always the best idea to just dump your load as quickly as possible and try to blow them up. If it's possible, try to play around your passive bonus attack speed, giving you up to 90% attack speed for your next 3 autos. But of course, if you're disgustingly fed and completed your death cap, then all that stuff kinda goes out the window because you're so strong that one rotation of spells will kill them anyway, and you might want to get that E off as quickly as possible for the CC. Oh, and one more thing, Diana can actually E-flash with her Moonfall and redirect it, which is totally flashy and awesome, and will definitely get you on the Diana mains Reddit. For tip number 3, let's quickly talk about the early game and summoner spell choices. For Diana, you are always going to be looking for Doran's Rings in the early game rather than the all the craze, hot off the press, corrupting potion with Time Warp Tonic build. On your first recall, if you're struggling for cash, you also might want to consider getting a second Doran's Ring. The amount of health that you will get from these will help you get out of the early game, and the mana regen is perfect to help you push out. The other thing is, what summoner spell do you want to go with? Historically, Diana always took teleport, but after some buffs to ignite and nerfs to teleport overall, should you always take ignite? What should you do? Because it's solo queue, and based off what I've read from most of the Diana mains in higher elo, all of them seem to prefer Ignite, especially in melee matchups. Every single melee matchup you should take Ignite. However, if it's just a terrible matchup, you're against a super long range poke mage that definitely you can't punish because it's too far, maybe something like Xerath or Azir, then you might want to look for teleport. For tip number 4, quickly don't forget how fast you kill towers. As Diana, you are a fantastic sieging champion and a great split pusher. After the changes a while ago when Riot buffed the damage that AP champions do to towers, Diana quite honestly might be the fastest tower pusher in the game. She's up there. When killing towers, this is when you really want to take advantage of the earlier tip and space out your autos in between your abilities and try to weave them. Of course, if you're just sieging the tower alone and nobody else is there, make the most use of your passive and space these out. While it's true that Diana is a great team fighter and you want to be grouped with your team late game to blow up the AD carry or a squishy, remember that also split pushing is a viable option. That's why Diana is so versatile in this meta, because you can do both. 3 good champion matchups for Diana are Zoe, Syndra, and Lux. As you can imagine, the common theme here of control mages, it's really hard for them to punish Diana. Due to her shield in lane, the poke from these 3 champions doesn't tend to matter too much, and their immobility or lack thereof mobility will cause them to get all-in'd and killed by her. As for Zoe, yes, she does have her R, but as soon as she lands back from it, Diana can easily line up a free Q and look for that all-in. Of these matchups, Syndra is probably the most difficult, being the hardest lane bully to deal with here, but all of them are pretty darn good for Diana. This has been the Mobalytics top 5 quick tips for climbing ranked with Diana. Make sure you use the product at mobalytics.gg and check out your champion-based GPI for Diana. Anyway, thank you for watching.